AM 1280 News Talk KIT. Lance Tormey, Dave Edel, Jacksonian, and you. The four-legged stool. How come one leg's shorter than the other? What's up with that? I don't even know. Jackson, stand up straight.
Genetic.
Is that what it is? Right.
Dave, special guests in the studio. As opposed to just, the regular
the usual guests.
Exactly. We have special guests in the studio
you always
today.
do this.
Thank you. I know I do. Kristi Foster, she is the maybe she's your branch manager of the Wheatland Bank here in Yakima. She's also the board chair of the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce. And we have the CEO of the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce. So we have Kristi Foster and Verlynn Best in the house this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, let me see if I got your mic on. Let's try it again, Verlynn. Pull it a little closer to you.
A little closer. Yes, there. You got me?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Am I loud and clear now?
You are loud and clear.
So we know Verlynn, and Kristi is the one who cracks the whip.
Yes, she is.
All right, very
She's
good.
my boss.
Very good. Well, that explains the kneeling and the kissing of the ring when you came in. So
exactly.
We got that going for us.
Actually, she's been involved in the chamber for many years. She runs our leadership program, and she's a joy and a pleasure to work with.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things that we certainly could use in this community is a continuing supply of good leadership.
Yeah.
Yes.
My wife went through that program, loved it, learned a ton.
Yes.
When I go through the program, it's going to be kind of like sending me off to that re-education camp. I have to change all my ideas about Yakima when I finally get it straight from the people that know what they're doing. Glad to have you in this morning, guys. The Chamber of Commerce is described nationally as like the most heavy hitter lobbyist in the country in terms of economic issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're definitely advocates for business, large and small, but we really had our focus on small businesses because they're the ones being the most affected by this pandemic.
And there's a certain amount of, I hate to characterize it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but politics, depending on who's on the board and how aggressive you want to be and what you can say and what you can't and all of that. I mean, I would think that, man, you guys are going to be out there shaking things and barking and really representing. How long have you been the chairman of the board?
Since July.
Since July. All right, so we're just getting into the barking stage now. Is that what is that kind of what's going on
Actually,
here?
I think she was ready to hit the ground. I mean, she's been on the board of directors before she moved into the chairman position, so she's very aware of the needs and the desires of our business community. We're very engaged. We just don't talk about our members. We're out meeting them. We're talking to them face to face
right.
and see what their needs are, and especially during a time like this. I mean, your upper 1.5% is getting very wealthy, and the lower echelon of businesses have lost over 50% of their income. And I tell everybody, they say they're 25% open. Well, that's 75% closed. Think about that.
Yeah.
So you got to reverse the math there to really understand how business is being affected.
See, Lance, I told there'd be no math, but I apologize.
Did you get that, Lance?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'm going to figure it out over here. Hold on.
So recently, our county commissioners have sent this probably more aggressively worded note to Olympia. I think people have applauded that. I know that they look to you, and I don't disagree. You guys, you're a one-on-one with the business community. You're not necessarily out there telling the rest of us what it is that you're doing with that community. But I think we need to start tag teaming that. You guys, you're welcome here anytime. We want to know what's going on. We want to know what you're doing and how.
Well, we're happy to make monthly visits and update you. It's like right now. We have a lot of our businesses still closed. There's a lot of mixed messages on restaurants and opening now because of open doors and open windows and CO2 levels. And you're getting into, you're getting into the science. And I have one particular restaurant that I go to has actually got CO2 monitors in there that say they're staying under the level, but yet they're coming in and saying, you need to throw open your windows and doors. Well, guys, it's 33 degrees out this morning.
I took a friend to lunch yesterday and about froze because the front and the back door were open and it was blowing through there.
Where'd you go?
We're not in California.
Crazy.
Where'd you go?
We went to the West Valley Bar and Grill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it can be cold in there because those doors.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
It was cold.
Yeah. Wow.
But they were very clear that this is what they had to do to comply.
Yeah.
And they had a number of their tables taped off. Don't sit here in order to get the proper configuration of distance and all that.
I'm hoping the governor will pass some legislation to fund their heating bills over here. Correct?
Exactly. Kristi, you what are you hearing from your customers who are coming into your bank, right?
We're all hurting. We're all in this together. And I think, they're just trying to do their best at, keeping, they want to stay within the boundaries also. They don't want to go, way left.
Right.
So that they're trying, but there has to come a point when, it's either I lose my business or I lose my business. So,
do you go down fighting or do you go down watching?
Well, that's right.
Exactly.
We've had people tell us they have to be opened or they're going to file for bankruptcy. And that gives you a very clear picture of what's going on. And we had an outbreak in our community. And I'm pro all business. But you have an outbreak in your community. And there's 175 cases out of one store. And they have the restaurants closed, and there's been 157 cases statewide, which is less than 0.5% can be tracked back to restaurants. Yet you have one store in Yakima that remains open with 175 cases. And I'm I want them all open. I really do. I want every store. But the playing field has not been level.
No.
It's like you're picking and choosing winners and losers. And that's the issue we have with this. Let everybody open at that 25%. Everyone. Across the board.
Recent actions by the Yakima County Commission, have they helped? Are they going to help in the future?
I'm excited because I think that they are taking a strong stand, and that's exactly what we need people in our government doing here in Yakima. And I know we have new districts. Well, I don't look at the districts. I work for Yakima County. I'm worried about what's happening in Yakima. I have no control over those other districts, and to be lumped into them or for somebody to redraw our lines is very inappropriate to me. So I love what the commissioners are doing right now and saying, no, our businesses need to be open. We need to have more control in our health department, and all those things are important that we're addressing what's happening in Yakima. I think we're all individual communities. We have needs and wants, and just being lumped in.
Representative Tom Dent was on our show the other day, and he was complaining about other districts that are lumped with rural and urban areas. I don't know if that's us as much, but that one's numbers dramatically affect the other. And so you're right. There wasn't. I don't think there was a whole lot of thought put into how the governor did this and where the districts are. And it truly is what can we do in our control sort of issue.
Well, one of the reasons I was given for the redistricting absolutely made me. And I was very outspoken on the phone call.
Did you have to pour water on her because she was so hot?
She does. Every now and then. Pulls me back, grabs me by the back of the shirt. But we were talking to our liaison to the governor's office on a conference call. And he said the reason they did the districting is because because we were traveling to each other's neighborhoods, whoever was open more, so I'm going to go over there and have lunch. And I'm not going to say we weren't, but this is the key factor. I told him, I said, well, then, did you district Seattle in with us? Because I take calls every week. They want to come over and go through our wineries, and they also want to know what restaurants are open. And so I think Seattle should be in our district, correct?
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting the phone calls from. Those are who coming to see me. I think that's a misnomer to say, and I'm not saying people don't travel out of their districts, but for the most part, I think Yakima has been very responsible in reacting to this pandemic and trying to do things we've been doing and following the protocol as requested. And for all those efforts, 2 weeks before Christmas, we were rolled back. And like I said, I stood in front of members who cried. And their restaurants, were open on the inside, and they were having to roll back. They had only been open 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now this new plan is open, close 1 week, open, close, open, close. I'd like to know how they run a business like that. Yeah. Or maybe is that how Olympia functions?
It's like scientists run out of test tubes for a week, and so they change things, and then they come back.
Well, this is our fourth plan.
Yeah. Well, so as far as the chamber is concerned, you continue to work with your membership. You're here letting the community know that you're working with membership. You like what you see coming out of the county commission. The fact that, gyms are open and you only have to lift 25% as much weight as you used to when you went in there. I don't know if you know that, but
we're going to go sign up right now. We're going to go down.
That's a much better thing. It's almost like if you've ever gone fishing and did some jigging for fish, where you sort of like bob up and down, you tempt them with the worm right in front of them, and you kind of pull it up and then put it back down. I feel like I'm a fish in the water watching the governor try to pull me in.
Yeah,
and it's just really frustrating.
Well, I think we just need to continue to support our local small businesses. Go to Inklings and order that book instead of Amazon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling people.
I was just going to say, how can we do that? But that's a great idea.
This is what you guys need. Every time we go to make a purchase, we need to think about it. And you have your big box stores, but you got Bemis Appliance, a local small business.
Right.
Just think, we've got small businesses in our community. Let's all get out and support them. I just bought a refrigerator freezer, and I thought about it before I did it.
You bet.
Because it's important for me to create jobs locally and take care of us first right now.
If you got your $600 check and it's not needed for bills or whatever, I would recommend almost like putting a running tally on the wall about how you've spent it at local restaurants and local places like that. It's sort of like a separate little checkbook thing. You say, all right, we're going out tonight, we're going to spend X, and it's going into our community.
I'll make a list, but I haven't got one yet.
Yeah, well...
Should I hold my breath?
I'm gonna spend my daughters that way because I haven't gotten mine either. So. But there are things like that we can and should do, right, to show local support. Because it'll be kind of like a wind-blown, tumbleweed Old West town of nothing except for a couple of big stores if we don't do that.
And I will mention that we have some more masks to hand out. I had 2 pallets delivered, one of cloth and one of disposable. And we did that for individuals or businesses, because this is another expense. We think of all the expenses we've created for small businesses to be open, so let's help them be open.
Good job.
But buy those gift cards, support your communities, shop small, and, Yakima, we're a team, and we can do this together, and the Chamber's 100% behind its businesses. We want everybody open. Let's level the playing field.
Yeah. What bank, where do you work?
I'm at Wheatland Bank.
Wheatland, love Wheatland Bank. Maybe if you guys just opened up and every couple of days you drove up and down Yakima Avenue and started just throwing some of your cash around. Just,
Everybody.
I think that's against the rules, Kristi.
Yeah,
She's actually very good at her job.
The governor probably would say, no, because you're going to draw a crowd. So you're right, we don't want to do that.
No.
Kristi Foster, Verlynn Best, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you guys so much for having us again.
And we are going to see you next month. We're going to schedule you for a monthly thing, so good.
That's awesome.
Kristi, good to meet you.
Back.
Say hi to Jim for us.
I sure will.
We sure enjoyed him. The few times we got a chance to visit with him, he had his hands full too, hasn't he?
Yes.
He has. Overdoses, and
that's
I know we're
thing.
going off, but this is not just about COVID. It's all of the other things.
Mental health,
health,
suicides, and
overdoses.
They're all escalating.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
God bless,
take
guys.
care.